preparation for jump squats is learning how to squat properly. The squat's one of the most powerful exercises in the exercise repertoire. It uses the largest muscles of the body, and it activates hormonal systems and electrical systems that are fundamental to creating growth and strength and all kinds of things within the exercise paradigm. All those things that we're looking for when we do exercise. But squatting correctly with good form is crucial because you're also working with two of the most important joints in the body. One is the knee, and the other one is everything that's going on in this very complex hip joint, but mostly the connection where the femur bones join into the hip bones. And so the first place to begin is with foot position. If you've ever taken squat training from somebody who got their physical trainer certification at a weekend workshop, they're going to tell you that your feet need to be straight in line when you squat. I'm going to tell you that that is not only wrong, it's dangerous and may break your knees. Okay, here's what happens. Try it yourself at home. When you come down to squat, if your legs are grooved in a straightforward position, as the mechanics of your knees and hips shift, you begin to feel torsion and tension on the knees themselves. And the farther down you come, the more tension you're feeling across this joint. And one of the things that we don't ever want to do is twist the knee. We want a perfectly snug knee joint in this direction and one that hinges this way, but we don't want to twist the knee. We want to be able to twist the whole leg, but the knee stays stable. All right? So this standard groove here may be correct for you, if that's how it works for you, but what we want to do is actually explore and find the right one. So the next thing we want to do is toe our toes out a little bit and try and squat. Now, what does that feel like? Toe our toes out even further, pretending we're ballet dancers, and squat. What does that feel like? And so you need to have a little bit of ability to pay attention to what you're feeling inside of your body. There's a whole plethora of sensations that are arising all through your entire system. And what you can notice is tension and torsion and discomfort. So when my feet are out this side, I'm getting into something in my hips in here. I can feel something happening that is slightly uncomfortable. It's a stretch, okay? When we're squatting, we're not stretching, we're building muscle, we're building strength. So what we want to do is find that perfect groove where there's no tension or torsion in either direction. And that's going to be somewhere between feet in this position and feet out here. And so you have to find your own spot. For me, I've done this so many times. I come in and I sit down, and when I come down, with my feet toed out, I don't know, 20 degrees, I'm in comfort the entire way up and the entire way down. There is no place in this squat that I'm feeling tension or torsion either in the hip or in the knees or in the ankles. Okay. The next part of the squat has to do with proper form in coming down and how far to come down. So let's talk about how far to come down. Your weekend warrior trainer is going to tell you you should never squat below 90 degrees at the knees. This is a huge controversial issue in the squat world. Here's what I can tell you. I asked a knee surgeon one time how many power lifters he's repaired their knees, and he said 0. And power lifters train squatting below horizontal. Even though a competition squat is horizontal, you always train below. So my recommendation is to learn to move as low as you can, ass to grass in one view, butt to calves in another. Depth of the squat is controlled by you and your choice. You do not need to stop here. In fact, stopping halfway is the worst mechanical place you could possibly stop because you're using maximum effort to shift directions. When you come down, the muscles are relaxed. You begin again coming up. All right, that's depth. But you may have noticed something really interesting. I do this naturally now, but I didn't always do this. A natural beginner squat is bending forward and coming down like this, okay? Bending, not right. What we want to do is we want to hinge back as if we're sitting in a chair. And the best way to do that in bodyweight squats is to put the arms out to give yourself a counterbalance. Coming down, sitting back, coming back up through the same groove. This is a very linear up and down movement at the shoulders. In fact, one of the hallmarks of a high quality barbell squat is that the edge of the bar makes a perfectly straight line up and down. If it's swinging forward or back, in fact, if it's swinging backward, you're probably laying on the ground because you just fell over. If it's swinging forward, you're moving forward and getting into your lower back when you have weights. In this case, we're not working with weights. We're just getting the squat groove, the squat move down. So arms out, coming down, sitting back, coming the whole way down. I could sit here all day. I'm relaxed. From here, re-engaging and lifting back up. This is the squat groove. Here are a couple of good cues to use while you're squatting in order to learn this. When you first begin, take your mind, your attention, and put it in your heels. Ignoring everything else about the squat as best you can, put your mind in your heels and don't let it waver or move from your heels. Heels, 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 heels. Heels, 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 heels. As you do that, it naturally aligns your body and puts the weight of the move up and down in your heels. It's evenly distributed across the feet, but primarily you're pushing through this line right from the heels up. You're not pushing too far forward. If I come down too far forward, everything gets all out of whack. And as you can see, so heels, 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 heels. And then one more useful cue is what to do with your eyes. And this will align the rest of your body in the proper position. You don't want to gaze down. You don't want to gaze up too high. You want to gaze slightly above horizontal at a distant object. So I'm in the gym and I'm looking at a door. There's a bar across the top of the door over there. So I can put my eyes on that while I'm doing the squat. So this is the squat. Preparation for jump squats. Before you can jump squat, you want to have a healthy, clear, strong groove in the squat so you don't do damage to your body, because what we're about to do now is add inertia to that movement. We're going to jump up explosively and we're going to come down. And both of those things are very, very important. The explosive jump up needs to be coming from a proper groove as we go upward, bringing the arms up. But more importantly, the most important part of the jump squat is how you land. You do not want to come down like a ton of bricks. Wrong. You put huge stress through all the joints of the body, breaking cartilage out, wearing everything out, causing bone on bone. We don't want to do that. You want to land as if you are a feather. So you explode up, and you land as if you are a feather. Coming down, getting ready for that first jump. We use the arms up, just like that. Exploding up, landing like you're a feather. Watch it one more time in slow motion. Look at the natural movement of my feet, the natural direction. This is how they land, okay? Do not enforce movement inside and out. You want to get the groove that your body is naturally flowing with as you do this explosive movement. If you're forcing it in the wrong direction, you're going to create tension on the tendons and ligaments and on the bone itself. Allow your legs to move in their natural flow that you've experimented with before you ever tried the first jump squat. Down, exploding up, landing like a feather. Okay. In the jump squat routine that, as far as I know, I've invented this accidentally, change the way that my body functions. What we're trying to do is do a series of repetitive jump squats without a break in between. The purpose behind this is to completely deplete the large muscles from the butt to the quads to the hamstrings to the calves to completely deplete these muscles of their first stage of food and fuel. And I am not a biochemical expert. I think the first stage of depletion is ATP. There are 3 stages, if I recall. You get into phosphate biochemistry, and I don't want to pretend like I know exactly what I'm talking about in there, but the idea is to do enough jump squats that you're completely depleting that first stage and getting into the second stage of depletion of the body's fuel inside the legs using these large muscles. So I'm about to do 30 jump squats. I had been doing 40 jump squats, but I'm in the middle of another exercise routine, and I don't want to do that many today. So I'm going to do 30, and you will see what it looks like as my strength degrades. Hopefully my form stays clear. All right, the idea is to complete these, and then you will see what happens to me afterwards. All right, so 30 jump squats look like this. Now I have to walk for a few minutes. I should really keep walking, but to finish this up, somewhere between 20 and 30 jump squats in my body, exhaustion begins to occur. And there's really no strength left. There's a very intense burn. Beyond 30 in my body, at this level of training, there's a kind of upswing. My body's getting weaker, but it doesn't burn as much. After the jump squat series is over, you can see I'm gasping and gulping for air. Normally I would be walking this off slowly until my breath and my pulse rate are back to normal. And that's how you do an intense jump squat in sequence.